don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Why can't we remember a goddamn thing from last night? Because we obviously had a great fucking time.
All right, episode 7 of the podcast. This is Jason.
And this is Chris. And our listeners missed out on 20 minutes of gold. We didn't hit record soon enough.
No, because we suck.
It was all good stuff, but it is now lost forever.
We can still do it.
No, we can't repeat. I mean, we just did 20
I know,
20 minutes.
but there's so many more.
We can't repeat the same 20 minutes.
Die another podcast? Podcast another day.
No,
See, there's more.
There's more, but I'm past it.
You done?
Yeah, we crescendoed with the last one, which we don't need to go into.
2 podcasts, 2 furious. The Podcast Brothers. See, it's almost not funny anymore.
No, it's not funny because we did it for 20 minutes. We did it for 20 minutes.
But there's still so many more.
There's still so many more, but
Podcast City.
But we did. And as I'm sure our listening
Austin Powers, the podcast who shagged me.
As I'm sure as our listeners are figuring out by now, we were going around looking at all of Jason's movies and inserting podcast into all the titles.
There's so many more. Father of the podcast. Mr. Bean's podcast. Star Trek First Podcast.
You know, and I'm realizing something as we're sitting here doing this.
Yeah.
Your eyesight is better than mine.
The Texas Chainsaw Podcast.
Because I'm sitting here, I'm looking over at the same movies you are from pretty much the same distance.
It's just a blur.
And it's not a blur, but I have to concentrate a little more.
The Princess Podcast.
Once Upon a Time in Podcast.
There you go. Patriot Podcast.
There's a Clear and Present Podcast.
Clear and Present Podcast. That's even better. Natural Born Podcast. See, I told you we could keep doing this. Night at the Podcast.
All right.
Podcast at the museum.
All right.
Dawn of the Planet of the Podcast.
Oh, no, that's painful to listen to.
Rise of the Planet of the Podcast.
Anybody else who can come up with any good podcast versions of titles, please add them into the comments below.
The Adjustment Podcast. Air Force Podcast. Get off my podcast. Oh, God.
All right. I don't know if that started on a high note or...
I don't know. No, I think it started low, but we worked it back up.
We brought it back around.
G.I. Joe Podcast. It doesn't work for all of them.
No.
Ghost Podcast. From Podcast with Love.
Podcast Legacy. The Book of Podcasts.
The Book of Podcast. Oh, God.
Hey, and also looking around, just speaking of movies, the trailer for Hitman Agent 47 came out this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
I just watched it like half an hour ago.
Did you?
Yeah. I kind of watched it and went, eh.
See, it makes me sad because the guy who's starring in it, Rupert Friend, is on Homeland.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking awesome. It's Peter Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta catch myself because Peter Quill is now very famous.
Yes.
But Peter Quinn, and he's a badass on that show. But, could care less about Agent 47.
It reminded me...
Hitman Agent 47.
It reminded me very much of Transporter 3. With all sorts of...
Which was just like Transporter 2 and just like Transporter 1.
But...
As opposed to Transporter the series now?
Which one was it where he had the bomb under his car...
And he jumped off, hit the crane to knock it off?
He hit a ramp, corkscrewed his car, let the hook from the crane rip the bomb off the underside of his car, and then landed it.
That was one of the Transporter movies. It wasn't the first one.
No, it wasn't the first one, because the first one is awesome.
Pretty sure it was 3. I'm pretty sure it was 3.
Is that the one with the blonde chick with, like, the machine guns, who was dressed up as, like, the nurse?
No, that's in the first one, when she's in, like, the lingerie, and she's got, like, the fully automatic weapons.
No.
The skinny chick? Well, there's a skinny chick in lingerie with machine guns, and she's blonde, and she looked like a nurse in the first one, too.
No, because it's the one where he has
Are you telling me these movies are repetitive?
No. Where are they? Hang on. Where's T?
Well, I got Transporter, 3 down there.
Here's Transporter 1.
There's 2. There's Transporter 3 I have on Blu-ray, so it's over there.
All right, well,
It's on the bottom. I can see it.
Transporter 2 has the blonde chick with the machine gun.
Yep. Oh, I thought she was in the first one,
No,
though, too.
nope.
No? Okay.
No, but that's the one where he, with the bomb.
Is that the... Well, because the blonde chick with the machine guns, that's because he goes to get the girl from, like, the... she's at the doctor?
No, it's the little boy.
Oh, the little boy. As a kid, I just...
Right, because he's acting just, like, as a chauffeur.
That's right.
For like a friend of his.
Yeah, it's like the lady, and then her kid gets kidnapped or whatever, or is gonna be, and when he's at the doctor, and the psycho Eastern European skinny hot blonde chick is shooting at. Okay, that's Transporter 2.
And that's the one.
They all kind of bleed together,
and it's the one that has really, 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 really shitty special effects.
Yeah.
Agent 47 looks to have the same level of special effects.
That's sad.
Yeah, and I don't know if I ever saw 3.
I don't know that I have either. I own it. I don't know that
you
I
own
watched
it. The cellophane is off, so
I opened it.
You opened it. Don't know if you've watched it.
Doesn't mean I've actually watched
Unlike a lot of your movies that I look at, that still has the cellophane
Not
on
that
them.
many.
More than
it's less than 10%.
I don't know,
but that's still like 130 movies.
That's still a lot. Yes, it's a surprising number.
I don't have that much. I don't have that much time. I have a lot of time. I make time.
You make time. You manufacture it.
I manufacture time. That's what I do in my spare time. I make more time. That's how I watch all these TV shows and movies while still maintaining a job and 3 children and a marriage. I manufacture time in my spare time.
When did Transporter come out?
The first one?
The first one.
2002.
Correct, sir. That is spot on.
That was Jason going, databanks. Internal IMDb server.
But that was right around the same time that Bourne Identity came out.
Yeah, Bourne Identity, and then Jason Statham did Transporter, and then he did, I think in 2003, he did Crank.
Crank is awesome.
I love Crank.
Crank is spectacular.
And then he did Transporter 2, then in like 2004, I think.
5.
And then Crank 2, High Voltage.
Crank 2, High Voltage. That one was just like, how the fuck is that guy still alive?
Well, it's like, he's dead. How do you bring him back to... Remember his character's name? Like Chev Chelios?
That's great.
No, but that's the best scene in Crank is when he takes his girlfriend outside and just starts railing her in the middle of the street. Just bends her over a newspaper box.
That's right.
It's Amy Smart, I think, is his girlfriend. And a whole crowd just gathers around and they're just going at it and she's all excited.
It was the same thing. He escapes from the hospital after he injected himself with adrenaline.
Yeah.
And he's just running down the street.
Yeah,
and he's on the phone with his doctor friend. And the doctor's like, is your heart rate up? Yeah. Is this happening? Yeah. Are you have a massive erection? Yep. As he's just running down the street.
He's just in his hospital gown.
It's just his hospital gown, yeah. It's great. It's an awesome.
Those movies make no attempt to hide what they are. They just are what they are, and they're fan-fucking-tastic.
My wife and I went to see Crank in the theater.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe I have the Blu-ray set of those. Yep.
They only did
Crank
2.
and Crank 2, High Voltage. Yeah.
Well, because how do you do Crank 3?
Oh, God.
Good stuff.
Well, that's fantastic. Yes, the Jason Statham action film saga.
Well, Jason Statham has had a spectacular movie career.
Yeah, because he just shows up and plays Jason Statham.
It's perfect.
Motherfucker, mute my damn phone.
You owe me a Coke.
No, I don't. I owe everybody who listens to this podcast a Coke. I'm going to do it just like Steve Austin.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. No, we'll get like 10 people.
Well, we had 7 on the last one.
That's because we're not actively attempting to distribute the
podcast. That is correct.
Yet.
We are not actively distributing
These
it.
are all demo episodes that will be uploaded for our Kickstarter so you people can give us money so we have a much better sounding podcast. We ask you very kindly, please pay us.
Now, if you'll notice, right now, using the kind of that omnidirectional mic, you get the nice mics, we won't hear any of the background, which I'm sure everyone is confused, not hearing screaming children at the moment.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of nice because I removed them. This
is what it'll be like all the time when we have the right equipment.
Well, and we'll sound even better though because every time I go like this, it's not going to sound like the walls are caving in.
Right, or as we were getting up and moving around and grabbing DVDs off the shelf.
I'm sure it sounded like, just
all the shuffle, rattle.
Shuffle, rattle, boom, boom. Don't worry, call your car expert.
Podcast man.
Don't worry, call your podcast man.
All right, we're going to have to get off of that subject there. Because we can spend all episode doing that.
Just band of podcasts.
Podcast rib.
Podcast Wars. Podcast Unchained. Game of Podcasts.
Podcast 2, The Wrath of Podcast.
Oh, fucking great. Podcast of the Caribbean.
Yes! That is when we go on location.
Podcast Interrupted. That's
every podcast.
The Ninth Podcast.
That was a good movie.
The Ninth Gate.
The Ninth Gate.
I love that
I always
movie.
like that one. That's a very understated movie.
Yeah, that's the fucking there goes a screaming child.
Hey, they're back.
The hell's the director?
Nap time's over.
I
don't know, but all I know is Johnny Depp's in it.
It's the one, his name's escaping. The director, he's, fucking banned from entering the United States. Because he had,
Oh, that dude.
What his name? It's totally, I'm blanking completely on
I'm not thinking of it either.
I'll
know it as soon as I hear it.
Yeah, as soon as you hear it.
Come on, Google faster.
I misspelled the. THE9 Gate. Frank Langella's in that too, by the way. Roman Polanski.
There we go.
I knew it had it. I just could not think of what the fuck it was. No, I've always liked that movie. It's just a really interesting movie.
It's not a blockbuster kind of movie.
It's a foreign independent film.
It's not
essentially.
Even, I don't even know if I'd call it a good movie.
It's just an interesting movie.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's different. There's nothing else like it.
There's nothing... I mean, it's just... You're right. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
I just like it.
Yeah.
It's
like that movie, and the other movie I put into that category is Ronin.
Yes.
With Robert De Niro.
Well, because...
And Jean Reno.
What's in the box?
Stellan Skarsgård. You never know.
What's in the box?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt is constantly asking...
What's in the fucking box?
What's in the box, man?
You never know. Excuse the case.
Whatever.
The case.
It's still what's in the box.
No, it's a case. It's the case. Wow, the fucking all-star cast in that movie. Sean Bean doesn't die.
I know. It's amazing.
And, but no, it's just... Everything about that movie.
Yeah, Ronin is another good one. It's one of those movies where if I catch it on TV, I'll watch it.
Always watch it.
Same category as that, and I did it this morning. The Last Samurai.
Oh yeah.
That movie is fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's a Hollywood big budget blockbuster.
Oh right.
The same as far as no matter what point it's at on TV, you keep watching it.
Yep.
I have Remember the Titans is another one like that for me.
I don't know if I've ever watched that.
You know what I'm talking with Denzel Washington and that is an awesome freaking movie. Love that movie. But no, The Ninth Gate. That one. It's just there's nothing else out there. It's about freaking books and the devil. There's not a lot of satanic book movies out there.
No, not really.
It's kind of a niche.
Yeah,
market.
it's like the main character is like a rare book dealer.
Yeah, and he's a dick.
You know, it's like,
yeah,
that's
your protagonist is a rare book dealer, and basically the antagonist in the movie is Satan.
The only other awesome rare book dealer is Joe Dawson from the Highlander TV series.
Yes. And even that, he's his book dealer. Well, no, because then he owns a bar. And it's all as a cover, as a watch.
Well, I mean, he owned the old, the antique bookstore.
I know.
Yeah, it was a cover, and he didn't do his bar until after he left the Watchers.
Yeah, that's right.
Joe's
Highlander, the series, for those who are not keeping up. Now, people should be keeping up on Highlander, the series.
It is fantastic. Awesome. That was a favorite series of mine from my childhood. Oh, yeah. And yes, I have to say from my childhood because that thing started in like 92.
Yeah. Well, you were 12. No, 13.
Yeah.
You were born 79?
Yeah.
Yeah. Haha.
Shut up.
You're in your 4th decade of existence.
And it would be my, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th president?
Yeah. Ew. Yeah, you were born under Carter.
Under Carter.
Wow. Reagan. Oh, God. Wow. Well, that just tangented off into boring weirdness. Anyways, yeah, no. I can't remember what the fuck we were talking about now.
Highlander, the TV series.
Yeah, I know, but before that, I know we were at Highlander, the series.
And it did. So Highlander, the TV series ran 92 to 98.
Yep.
And the guy that played Joe Dawson, can't think of his name off the top of my head.
No.
Jim Burns.
Yep.
He's actually like a legitimate blues musician.
Oh, yeah. He played and like all that stuff. Yep. No, freaking Adrian Paul. He was the best choice to cast for a Immortal. Because that dude doesn't age.
He did after a while, but...
Yeah, but, I mean, Christopher Lambert did not have any hope of not aging, because he looked like hell throughout the movies. Adrian Paul, when they did, like, Highlander Endgame in, like, 2003 or whatever, looked exactly the same as, like...
What?
And then they did that stupid Highlander The Source.
What happened? The original Highlander movie...
Are you going to ask me to detail the mythology of the Highlander films?
No. I'm fully aware of it.
Okay.
The first Highlander movie is fantastic. I remember as a kid, my uncle telling my dad about it and how great it was, and that we needed to rent it.
Yeah.
Every single subsequent Highlander movie sucks.
Well, you know why? We've discussed it before. Because money. Highlander 2 was made as a cash grab.
Yeah.
Because it was a shock that the first one did well.
Right.
So they were like, shit, we got to make more. And then they did Highlander 3 as to try and make up for the abomination of Highlander 2. I don't hate Highlander 3.
It's not awesome.
It's not awesome, but it's not, I don't think it's bad.
The problem is the original Highlander was a standalone movie. And at the end, Connor McLeod
won the prize. Yeah.
And then they kind of reneged on it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just...
And we don't even need to get into Zeist.
No Zeist.
No Zeist.
Zeist? Yeah.
But yeah, we don't even need to get into that.
It's just... I didn't mind Highlander 3. I always liked Highlander The Final Dimension, as it's called. I had no problem with that, because it was essentially kind of like a reboot of the remake of the story of the first film, more or less, except now he has a kid. Which, it's clearly adopted, because Immortals can't have children.
No, that was one of the things after winning the prize.
I know, but then that's right. He had a kid, but now he's not immortal. Now he is. He becomes immortal again when they unlock the dude in the cave. But that shouldn't have made sense, because he never should have been able to win the prize if the one dude was in the cave.
Correct.
Hence the problem with the mythology of the Highlander.
The mythology is just terrible. Which was nice. Why?
No continuity whatsoever.
No complete lack of continuity.
It's the complete opposite of continuity.
But that's why I really love the TV series, because it kind of spun off into its own little thing.
Yeah.
It ignored all the movies except the first one.
Yep.
And in the first one, they just kind of go, it's like, okay, yeah, Connor beat the Kurgan, but it really wasn't the prize.
Yeah.
You know?
He thought it was, but it wasn't.
But yeah, so
he was wrong. And then Christopher Lambert was in the series premiere of Highlander, the TV show. Well, and it's funny because I've read about the making of that show. It was supposed to be like a total reboot, and Connor was going to be the main character, and then they changed it up and decided they got Christopher Lambert to reprise Connor, and then they made the main character like a relative of his, and they went that direction.
Who's not really related to him.
No, same clan, different time.
No, not even same.
Well, yeah, they were.
No,
because they're both McLeods.
Well, Duncan is McLeod in name only.
Yeah,
because Duncan's father, like his parents, their son actually died in childbirth, and Duncan was like this, like orphaned child that they adopted. So he's not really
but
a McLeod.
He's not a blood, but close enough.
Yes, let's get deep into a 20-year-old series.
As close as you can get to family. But anyways, so before we bore the shit out of everyone.
No, there is no boring, because we will bring this back around.
Full circle.
We're going to segue to the Highlander movie reboot that is going on. And that Dave Bautista of Guardians of the Galaxy fame is being cast to reprise the role of Kurgan.
Yes.
Look at that. That, my friend, is a segue.
Yes, it took you a little while. You figured out how to segue. Congratulations.
Yeah, there we go.
It's not something completely unrelated.
All right. Thank you, folks. Please send your applause and your thank yous
and your money
comments below.
And your money. Don't forget your money.
Praise me for the job well done.
Praise Christopher. Christopher be praised. Oh God. Anyways, so
Damn, you are right. It is Zeist.
Of course I'm right. You see, you're still doubting me? God. Just accept whatever I say as fact. You should do that. That goes for everybody else listening to the show. Feel free to try and correct me. I dare you.
Be careful, man. You just dared the internet.
Fine. I'm also on the internet, so you fuckers on the internet, I will Google shit faster in a pre-recorded podcast than you can. You'll have 3 days head start and I'll already beat you.
No, but yes, they are rebooting the Highlander movie.
It looks like because Batista's the first cast member announced, so it looks like it's actually going to happen. So
now
we'll see. Are they going to go completely random and cast a Frenchman as a Scotsman?
Well, I was just going to say,
dude
are they going to really just go off the rail and actually cast a Scottish guy to play a Scottish guy?
I saw somebody online say David Tennant should be Connor McLeod. I'm like, that'd be perfect. David Tennant is awesome, and he's Scottish.
He's Scottish, so...
And he's also awesome.
He is also awesome. But, again, it's one of those things. I don't look at David Tennant and see sword-wielding badass.
Yeah, but Christopher Lambert at one point didn't look like that either.
Yeah, but
nobody
knew who the hell he was.
Exactly. The vast majority of people have no idea who David Tennant is either. Because Doctor Who fandom does not bleed that far into the mainstream public, especially in this country.
No, it is. People are aware of its existence.
Vaguely.
That is about it.
Yeah. David Tennant was on... has more mainstream audience awareness from Grace Point than he does from Doctor Who in the U.S. Guaranteed. And, of course, he played the magician dude in the remake of Fright Night. That was a fantastic role for him. No? You didn't see Fright Night? The remake one with Colin Farrell and Anton Yelchin?
Nope.
Okay.
Have not seen it.
Well, what the fuck, man?
Didn't know it existed.
Really?
Really?
What the hell, dude?
Ugh. Lots of things.
What's wrong with you? It's over there on the shelf.
Of course it is. Of course it's over there.
Between Frankenweenie and From Paris with Love.
We are sitting amongst our own blockbuster. Since those don't exist.
People our age are going to remember that at least, though. We don't have to worry about. We don't have to worry about explaining blockbusters.
Wait. I'm gonna say Planet Video.
Yeah.
Or Hollywood.
Planet Hollywood is a restaurant.
Wait, no. What was Hollywood Video?
You're close.
I had the right words somehow in there.
Hollywood Video. No, I remember as a child renting movies from Club Video inside Cub Foods. Now that's an extreme.
I remember
local knowledge only.
When I was a kid, we would rent videos from Neighborhood Video,
Ooh.
which was just this little mom and pop kind of thing. And full circle, they are tearing that building down now.
Really?
They are in the process of it. So.
Wow. Well, anyways, outside of 1980s VHS video rental stores. So yes, they're rebooting Highlander. Yeah, we'll see.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, I hope it's good. I hope it doesn't suck.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
I'd like to hope that my guess is they won't do exactly like they did in the original and have them win the prize.
No.
It'll just be it'll be the story of Connor and Kurgan coming, meeting in modern times.
Yeah, it's going to be set up to attempt to relaunch the franchise.
Correct. With no Zeist.
Yeah, no Zeist.
Can Sean Connery reprise his role as Ramirez?
No, because he's retired from acting.
Yeah, I know.
But that's what I say. It's like, are we going to get a Frenchman to play a Scotsman, and then we're going to get a Scotsman to play an Egyptian Spaniard?
Correct. I don't know if that casting director was brilliant
or drunk. Probably both. Well, let's see. We got this Egyptian guy who lives in Spain. Let's get the Scottish.
But he's like 1,000 years old.
Let's get the Scottish dude. Well, what about for the Scottish guy? I don't want him to play the Scottish guy. Scottish guy, Frenchman.
And there's this badass barbarian guy from Eastern Europe.
Yeah,
let's get an American.
Yeah, he just has to growl.
Yeah. And then later on in life, he will voice Mr. Krabs in an animated show.
Yes. It still gets me every time I listen to it, and you can't hear him.
Yeah.
I know Clancy Brown. I've seen him a ton of stuff, but the voice he does for Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob is completely not sound like him at all.
No, but that is one of the great duality of characters.
Yeah, the Kurgan and Mr. Krabs. So, anyways, I found a news story this week that will call back to our previous episode discussing books and stuff. Look at me.
This is not the bookcast.
I know. But last week you have brought up the Wheel of Time series.
Yes.
All right. This week I saw a story, and I didn't actually see what happened, but I found a video clip of it. Did you know that a TV show has been in development based on the Wheel of Time series?
I did not know that. Now, I do not really know about the story of the Wheel of Time. I know it exists.
Yeah,
and I know that it's 57 books.
Yeah, well, and the whole point of this story that I'm going to tell you has nothing to do with the story of the show.
Okay.
I could care less about the story of the show. I'm sure it's a fantastic series. Lots of books. They're really good. Robert Jordan, we discussed that he died. Book series didn't get finished by him. Whatever. But do you remember what happened in the early 90s with the Fantastic Four? The studio churned out a movie, total piece of shit, just to keep the rights.
Yeah, and never released it.
Never released it.
Correct.
Guess what? FXX just showed this past week it aired at 3 a.m. in the middle of the week in a paid infomercial slot, a series premiere, a pilot for a Wheel of Time TV series starring Billy Zane.
Has Billy Zane done anything since The Phantom?
Yes, he's done lots of stuff, none of them are worthwhile. Technically, he did Titanic after he did The Phantom.
Where did Sniper fit in? Because he starred opposite Tom Berenger.
I think that's Maybe
It was
before,
right around the same time.
Right
as
around
the
the same time. Yeah, because Phantom was 94, I think. Because that was the summer the Phantom and the Shadow came out at the same time. That was your 1930s radio drama, year. But no, FXX had nothing to do with the production of the show. But somebody bought like the paid infomercial slot and aired this 30-minute complete piece of crap, Wheel of Time. So it looks like it was made in like 1995. Like it would have aired right along with Hercules and Xena in like that syndicated late.
Do not say anything bad about Hercules. And
No,
Xena.
I'm
Those
not saying anything bad.
series.
Actually, I went back and watched the series premiere of Hercules: Legendary Journeys on Netflix. Now I tried to go back and watch it. It's fucking.
Well, the beginning of those were. Very
it doesn't
rough.
hold.
No.
It does not hold up.
Is that some of those special effects were?
It just the show itself was goofy.
Much like the Highlander TV series.
Yes.
They took a season or two to ramp up
So the Wheel of Time, it looked like it had 1995 era CG work done.
So in other words, if we were to go take a VHS camcorder, go into your backyard and start filming, this is kind of what it looked like.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, little bit more production value, because they had Billy Zane. Okay. And I don't think they had some sets.
He doesn't count as production value.
Sure he does. He's got gravitas. He once starred in a James Cameron film.
He was once in a James Cameron film. Come on.
Yeah, well, I once tried to be an extra for a Transformers film.
And failed.
Doesn't matter. I met the casting director people.
Well,
I was in the same room as the casting director for Transformers 3.
You get to add that into your bio.
I forgot. Failed extra. Audition for a role.
Audition for a role in Transformers 3.
Yes, I completely forgot. I'm adding that.
Yep.
Okay, so anyways, the Wheel of Time thing. Yeah, it was just I watched it. Somebody recorded it off their TV with a cell phone and uploaded it to YouTube.
Really?
And somebody linked it. I found it on Reddit, and it was just I watched little blips of it, and they had cast and 732 executive producers. That was the whole credits was nothing but executive producers. It was really weird.
Was this a thing that got kickstarted?
I don't know. I didn't spend any more time looking into it outside of I read a post. Somebody had the rights to the Wheel of Time, or maybe the estate of the author or something, was looking into fighting the existence of this thing. But it's partly due to the rights to the books are owned by a studio, so they produced this thing just to keep the rights.
Sure. And
they got it done, and that was it. And yeah, it aired at 3 o'clock in the morning, last week on FXX overnight. No one saw it.
Is this going to go down? It won't be at the same level, but with the Star Wars Holiday Special.
No, it's not going to be that big.
I mean, it's not going to be that big, but it's the same thing. It's shown once.
This is like the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
That's what this is. Same exact thing. Everybody involved knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, but they did it. Well, and but at least with the Fantastic Four one, they kind of conned all the actors, but all the actors signed on to do it with the hope that because they did this, they would get the opportunity to do a real one.
Right.
And it never happened for any of them. So yeah, that's
interesting.
That is interesting.
It's funny, the games that Hollywood has to play.
Yeah.
To for the rights and the properties and the contracts, like we talked about the other episode about the woman who wrote
Gravity,
the Gravity novel.
Yep.
It's something that just we find out more and more as time goes on, that this is the stuff that happens.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure it's always happened.
I'm sure it has.
But the internet didn't exist 30 years ago for people to find out about. Even 20 years ago. Hell, even 10 years ago.
Yep.
this much information being on the internet wasn't the thing. So the other big news from the week, we've talked about many, many times. Spider-Man going back to Marvel.
Spider-Man, well, he's not going back to Marvel.
Playing with Marvel.
He is now, they are going to...
Marvel
and Sony have decided that they're going to play together.
Yes.
For mutual benefit.
Yes. With no money changing hands.
Correct. Spider-Man will be able to appear in Marvel Cinematic Universe movies.
Yep.
Those produced by Marvel keeps all the money.
Yep.
The Spider-Man movies that Sony makes, Sony keeps all the money.
Yep.
And I don't know specifically, but I'm going to assume that the solo Spider-Man films will be somewhat tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but not as deeply as, say, like the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I would assume that they'll be as detached as like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right. It's like it'll be nod nod, wink wink. Oh, look, we made a reference to Stark Industries.
Yeah.
That's
going to be it.
Or, hey, boy, remember when New York got destroyed by this alien invasion? Yeah. What were you doing, Spider? What was Peter Parker doing during that?
Yeah.
I
hope.
Or maybe whatever experiments that are going on with the spider thing were in reaction to the New York invasion.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's it. It's just,
Well, I saw all the rumors say that they're going to take Peter Parker back to being in high school again.
Good.
So we're going to get our third reboot in 15 years.
Yes. Yes. Well,
hopefully final.
Hopefully we don't get another origin story. Because
and if they do an
origin,
do an origin,
just like they did in the Incredible
Hulk, or a Guardians of the Galaxy with like Peter Quill.
Yeah,
whatever, and not the exact, but the time, the length, 10 minutes.
Yep.
It's flashbacks, it's music, it's imagery, and it's over. It's
like everybody at this point. Everybody knows the story of Peter Parker,
and I don't want to see him making the suit. I don't want to see him fighting with Flash Thompson.
No,
I don't want to.
I don't want to see Uncle Ben die.
I don't want to see Uncle Ben get killed again. For God's sake, that poor man. It's between Uncle Ben and Thomas and Martha Wayne. Which comic characters are going to get killed more times on screen? I'm not sure. I hope Thomas and Martha Wayne keep their winning total. But take him. I want to see him in high school still. I'm okay with, but he's already Spider-Man.
He is Spider-Man.
But he's the size of his character, if you follow what I'm saying, is like what they're doing with Daredevil.
Right.
Where he's not a globally known thing. Daredevil lives in Hell's Kitchen. Peter Parker lives in Brooklyn. And that's where he stays. Because he's a kid.
Well,
he goes home every night to his aunt.
Yeah.
He goes to high school. And in between, he flies around and he helps out. He busts robbers.
Yes. And I think that's what it needs to be. I think the first one, this first Spider-Man reboot film, he's already Spider-Man, or we the first 10 minutes are just introduced into his slight evolution.
Yeah.
But all he's doing is busting everyday cops.
Yeah.
And he's still like this almost urban legend.
Yeah.
People talk about seeing him, but not everybody has.
No, he's not public. He's not front page news on the Daily Bugle.
Right.
He's J. Jonah Jameson is raging about this menace.
Right.
But there's no good pictures of him.
Yep.
And start there.
Yes.
That's the beginning. And I don't even want to see him in like the homemade, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man one like sweatshirt thing that he was wearing.
No, he's already got
his
costume.
costume. And I don't care if you do robot or mechanical web shooters or natural ones.
I like the organic ones.
I love the organic ones.
I like the organic ones.
It's so much more believable.
Oh, it is.
I know it's against the comic, and with Marvel doing it, they'll probably stick with the mechanical web shooters.
I don't know. Those organic ones were just, it's like, that's brilliant. I just accept that.
Yeah, it was amazing, but and everybody does accept it. And maybe they will change it. But it's not the comic story. And Marvel has shown that they have no fear of running just with what the comic shows.
Well, and you know, they
make amalgamations. They don't, and they'll make changes here and there.
There's nothing wrong with.
No, I don't care
Peter
either
Parker
way.
having developed the mechanical ones, because Peter Parker is not quite, but he's somewhere up there with like Tony Stark intelligence.
Yeah,
he is that kind of science mechanical.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Peter Parker, is he does not have Tony Stark access to things to make that shit. Like when he's making that in Amazing Spider-Man, I get that he's smart enough to do it. I don't accept his accessibility to the gear required to do it. Like, he got the spider shit from Oscorp, the web stuff. But to make the web shooter, the accessibility to the technology to make that happen, it was a stretch for a high school kid.
That is a lot of precise machining. Yeah. Unless, look, he just happens to have a 3D printer.
Well, but even so, 3D printer is not going to make the stuff to hold up.
Well, he can design. You know?
Yeah, but it's like, that's the part I had the problem with Peter Parker making the mechanical web shooters.
Yes.
You know, is a high school kid would not have the accessibility to the hardware required.
No, I just
I would love the organic ones.
The best answer is the organic web shooters, and then it doesn't become an issue.
No,
it just you accept it and you move on.
Yeah, well, and as soon as they show it, it would be nobody had a problem with it in the first one.
No.
So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what they could do. I'm excited to see which movie the first references to him pop up in.
I would love to see a short little end credit
in Age of Ultron. That would be my best case, like, because they've already said he's going to appear in Civil War.
Yeah,
and I would not be at all shocked that movie is currently being rewritten to incorporate him.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Well, because I mean,
so imagine that movie now. Captain America: Civil War is going to have Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Though Black Panther's role may be diminished.
I hope not.
I hope not too. But
I don't think that they will. I think they can work Spider-Man in a little bit without taking away anything from Black Panther.
Just because, Civil War, the comic story revolved around Spider-Man. He was a central figure to it. But that is a long established Spider-Man was the central character.
Not at the beginning.
No, character. So while Spider-Man can be involved, it can't be the same story.
No, and it won't be. So, but I'm excited that he's going to be in Civil War because that gives us only a year till we see Spider-Man in a movie, for sure. But they've got no problem. You know, he could be added in a post-credit scene in Age of Ultron, a reference.
Just a reference. Like we talked about before. Let's get J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah Jameson, and you get 60 seconds about Jameson ranting and raving about these Avengers and the this and the that and the da-da-da-da. And he goes, what's this I hear about a guy in a spider suit?
Yeah, and then just cut it.
And just cut.
Oh, my God. Well, just having J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson would, it gives me goosebumps.
Or just, you have it, it's like he's talking about, it's like, Thor and Iron Man have, destroyed half the city, blah, 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 this and that, and that. And what's this here? I hear about a guy dressed up as a spider. Why don't we have any pictures? Parker!
Yeah.
Cut!
Yep, exactly. Exactly. That kind of thing right there. Like, hell, I will write that scene and we'll send it to Marvel and go, I demand this scene be filmed.
And Ted Raimi has to be in it as well.
I demand Ted Raimi, I demand J.K. Simmons. Marvel, meet my demands. Your fans are demanding this.
Jason, that damn thing.
I'm co-host of the That Damn Thing podcast, and I hereby demand J.K. Simmons and Ted Raimi be in your movie.
I have written the script for you. We have shot a pre-visit.
I will storyboard this.
It's like crayon and colored pencil.
Doesn't matter. It's color.
It's all stick figures.
I've got more artistic ability than that. I have you. We can get full-on storyboarding done. Oh God, no! I couldn't be more excited for that shit.
No, that's good stuff.
I have equal parts faith and fear over the rest of what Sony has planned.
Well,
because
they still say that all their other spin-off movies, Sinister Six, Venom...
Well, they're all still technically in development.
I don't believe that for a second.
Well, technically they're in development, but they'll go right to development hell.
Yeah.
You know? But and Kevin Feige is co-producing the standalone Spider-Man film that got slotted in 2017. But, along with deposed chairwoman Amy Pascal, who's co-producing as well. But past that, I was reading Marvel is having talks on what it would take to add in MCU characters into the Spider-Man films.
Right.
So it's like that would be fine because Peter Parker and Daredevil could do stuff together.
Yeah.
Because they operate on that small scale. Yeah, Spider-Man should be a small scale thing. Spider-Man is not jetting off to South Africa.
He's not
off in Europe.
He is not typically a globe-trotting superhero.
No, Iron Man is a billionaire, famous person. Thor is a god. You know, Bruce Banner is a world-famous scientist working with S.H.I.E.L.D. Captain America is world-famous. Black Widow is now world-famous. Nick Fury is, a high-level government spy, espionage person. Hawkeye is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Peter Parker's just a high school kid.
Yep.
Just like Matt Murdock is just a lawyer, a small-time lawyer. So they could easily exist on the same scale.
Yep.
And wouldn't it be great if Peter Parker and Spider-Man and Daredevil team up to try and take down the Kingpin? Because that would make sense.
Yep.
That would make sense. So and at the same time he can be part
of the Kingpin start off as a Spider-Man villain?
I don't know if he started off with one, but he's been around.
Yeah.
Well, Kingpin is the big earthbound villain in the Marvel stuff for the Avengers. Kingpin has been around for a lot of them.
Well, the Kingpin didn't become a major villain until I forget who it was. Kind of made him Daredevil's arch nemesis.
Yeah, but then all of them have entangled with Kingpin because Kingpin is in New York and that's where they are all based. And there's nobody else really in New York that's as big. The Kingpin is.
Did you see that somebody put they took footage from the Avengers movie and intercut Spider-Man into the battle scene at the end?
Nice.
But I mean, to the point where they're talking to each other and everything. It's at one point, Iron Man shoots a rocket.
Okay.
All right. But what they did is they intercut the scene from the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2 when the Rhino shoots a rocket at Spider-Man and he deflects it with the manhole cover.
Yeah. So
they cut. Iron Man shoots the rocket. Spider-Man deflects it with the manhole cover and it goes up and hits one of the Chitauri.
Nice.
Or it's the same thing where in one of the movies, Spider-Man stops this runaway bus.
Yeah.
And then they cut to Hawkeye and Black Widow helping people out of a bus.
Okay.
It's it fits really well.
You could put it in perfectly fine.
Yeah, so it's okay, Spider-Man could have been there.
And that's what I'm saying. It's they could have retconned in the Amazing Spider-Man films without any problem.
Right.
They're not doing it. Understandably, I'm okay with it. They're not, but they could have.
But it was cool just seeing it's like this is a small taste of what we're going to get.
Yeah.
Frickin' Spider-Man
Yeah.
is going to be there with these other superheroes. Now, Spider-Man within the comic book world is a huge character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as most famous comic book characters, it's probably Superman, Batman, Spider-Man.
Yeah, it is.
That is your top three. That is what everybody knows him. He is probably the most well-known Marvel superhero.
Well, and he outdraws all of the rest of them in licensing.
But
even including Batman.
To me, when you
Superman.
To bring Spider-Man into the Marvel universe, it's gonna take a little time before it feels like the MCU Spider-Man is on the same level.
Oh yeah,
as
because he's gonna in reality and in the story, he's the new kid.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knows him. Nobody gives a shit about Spider-Man. Yep. He's some kid. Great, he can do some couple cool things, whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not going to have any respect for him or whatever. He's just some kid in a stupid costume, you know. But he will earn their respect and, you know.
Yep.
But it's not like you're going to have S.H.I.E.L.D. knowing about him.
Why not?
Because S.H.I.E.L.D. is destroyed, and S.H.I.E.L.D. is small. S.H.I.E.L.D. has no resources.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
there's the new cartoon right now where Spider-Man is an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. They know who he is.
Yeah, I know, but in the MCU, that's not the case. In the MCU, S.H.I.E.L.D. is decimated.
Nick Fury knows everything.
Yeah, Nick Fury is not even part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
No, he's gone. He's off in Europe somewhere.
Yeah, he'll be back in Agents of Ultron. Age of Ultron.
Agents of Ultron.
But yeah. No, the Spider-Man thing is exciting.
It's very, very cool. It's another one of those things. It's amazing that this is happening.
I know.
It is just everything that's going on with these Marvel movies defies all logic and rational thought. 10 years ago,
this concept
is
of this.
Unimaginable.
Yeah, no concept of this could
this could have happened.
No, just the concept of having a shared universe didn't exist.
Yeah, well, just the fact that you could do an Avengers movie.
Yeah, even when I'll never forget how earth-shattering it was having Tony Stark show up at the end of Incredible Hulk in the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Well, because the post-credit scene from Iron Man with Nick Fury, nobody even knew was there. Everybody found out about it the internet later because nobody did post-credit scenes.
Yeah, nobody stayed.
It was the first one, and only the extreme few people that stay all the way through credits saw it and were like, oh, but it was just an Easter egg.
Yeah.
They had at the extreme back of their mind a plan. Maybe we can do an Avengers thing. But, I don't know. We'll see how this Iron Man thing does. We just picked Iron Man and went with it. And then, all right, they did Incredible Hulk. And, we'll put Tony Stark at the end of that movie. And it exploded. And then they were off.
And they went
off and running.
Maybe we can do this. So, okay, now let's get the long shot one. Let's go with Thor.
Yeah.
And I was iffy about Thor. Mm-hmm. I was worried about that one.
Yeah,
because I don't give a shit about Thor.
Yeah, no one did.
But
and to be fair, no one gave a shit about Iron Man either.
No.
No one gave a shit about any of these characters.
No.
Until these movies happened. No one cared about Captain America or Thor or the movies. The characters anyone cared about were getting movies. Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Those are the characters people cared about. Those are the biggest characters Marvel has.
Yep.
And the movies were...
Well, that's why other studios wanted to buy the rights to those.
Yeah, nobody wanted...
No studio wanted Iron Man. No studio wanted Thor.
Yeah, no one cared.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and even the ancillary ones that people did want, Daredevil and Ghost Rider and Blade.
I always liked Daredevil.
Oh, I know, but as I'm saying,
Daredevil gets shit on all the time. No. I like Daredevil.
They were the next level, even above Thor and Iron Man and Captain America. Because those ones got sold. Those ones got bought, and got multiple movies, And fucking Daredevil even got a spin-off movie. But none
horrible Electra.
None of those did well. Mm-hmm. I mean, the only ones that did anything good was Blade, and that was the first one,
the first Blade movie,
the first one. But that was it. I mean, the rest of those, none.
I like the third one too.
I don't mind
with Jessica Biel and
Ryan Reynolds.
Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, did you see he tweeted out a picture
of the Deadpool mask?
Of the beginnings of the Deadpool costume?
Yeah, looks like Deadpool.
Looks like Deadpool. I mean,
that's the goal. Well, I saw Gina Carano is cast in Deadpool.
Oh, she is.
As hold on.
So she's pretty much.
And they've added it's her Angel Dust, and it's a mutant.
Okay.
And Cyclops, not Cyclops, Colossus.
Colossus is going to be in Daredevil.
Not Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Yeah. They don't know. They haven't said if it's going to be the guy who played him in all the X-Men movies, but they put in Angel Dust and Colossus in Deadpool.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Which I guess is par for the course for Deadpool.
Yes. No. Let me see if I can find the story here. Gina Carano joins Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool.
That's awesome.
She's going to play... Angel Dust.
I have no idea who that is.
It's a mutant. But then Colossus is going to be in it, but they have not said whether the guy who played him throughout all the X-Men movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Days of Futures Past, and then
He was in X2
as well. Yeah, all three. It was the same guy.
Same guy.
And but yeah, they haven't said. I can't believe they wouldn't get to him.
Why not?
Because Deadpool's in the X-Men universe, so why not?
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Gina Carano.
Yeah, good for her.
Yep. The hot MMA chick's making herself an acting career.
Well, and then Ronda Rousey will be up next.
No shit.
Well, of course, Ronda Rousey's going to go pro wrestling.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. So I'm not going to go any further than I'm going to say two things about this, and then we're going to move on. One, I just saw 50 Shades of Grey is dominating the box office as it eyes record-breaking $76 million opening.
Bullshit. That's a great title, too.
And two, I'm seeing that movie tonight, although I didn't pay for it, so I can honestly say I've contributed nothing to that $76 million.
$76 million. Though I guess dominating the box office.
Yeah.
That's a good title.
Yeah.
That is a good writer.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, moving on. Like I said, not going any further into that. I'll give my opinion on 50 Shades of Grey next week. Last week, I saw American Sniper.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
Good movie.
Not gonna really... I can't speak to any of the realities of it. And looking at it just as a movie, it was a good movie. It really showed the problems he had and the problems some guys have leaving war behind and returning to civilian life. He couldn't do it. It took him 4 tries.
Yep.
And the couple of the weird stuff, like I know they did it for the movie, like they changed a lot of details about what happened in what places and stuff, which I never understand why they do that stuff shit arbitrarily. Like this guy died in this city in reality, but in the movie he died in this city. Why did you change that? It's like, and they do it for pacing and timing and
the narrative.
Yeah, the narrative. I know it's stuff like that is just curious sometimes. I have no issue with it, but
it's having every single detail correct and accurate is not vital to the overall story.
The one I took issue with was the beginning of the movie. Spoilers. When the woman and the kid come out and he kills the kid. Was never actually a kid there. In reality. It was a woman. No kid. So it's like they had, in the movie, they showed him shooting the kid. Mm-hmm. In reality, there was never a kid there. And the other one was, and I know why they did it from the narrative, his famous, infamous, whatever, like 2,100 meters shot towards the end of the film in the movie when he kills the other sniper.
Okay.
In reality, was not an enemy sniper. It was just a guy with an RPG gun who was going to take out some Marines. Don't really care about that one. I'd say, I mean, the movie was good.
Well, but it's like he faced off against enemy snipers and stuff. Yeah. So you take elements from this scenario and this scenario and this scenario, and we're going to just kind of mash them all.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't mind that one either. I'm going off of some of the beef people had with the movie, whatever. As a movie, it was cool. Mm-hmm. It was a good movie. The ending was the most awkward time I've ever spent in a movie theater. When the movie was over and they had all the real footage from his memorial service and everything, and then the credits rolled, there's no music. Dead silence. The entire theater is just sitting there. Nobody's speaking. Nobody's making sound. It was the most quiet shuffling out of a theater I've ever experienced in my life. It was strange. So, but no, I mean, the movie was good. For all the politicking that's gone on since the movie came out, it is what it is, whatever. Some people think it glorifies wars. Some people think it's an anti-war movie. I think it's closer to showing the bad side of it than it is.
Well, I mean,
but
you can read it. You can
read into it
all of these. I think
that was Clint Eastwood's. Clint Eastwood's goal was to show the realities and make it not an anti-war, but show the realities and the cautionary tales of what happens.
You can do the same thing. I think it's along the same lines of Black Hawk Down, Saving Private Ryan, where you're trying to show a reality, but you still need to tell a story.
Yep.
And that story has to be entertaining.
Yeah.
None of these Hollywood movies succeed unless they're entertaining.
Yeah. No, that's fine. But no, it was good.
If you want a straight up documentary, go see a documentary.
Yeah. No, and I'm not arguing one way or another. Just it was good. So I liked it. It was a cool movie.
Cool.
So.
You finished watching John Wick yet?
No, I'm slacking.
Oh, terrible person.
I know, I'm off.
I watched some of the scenes. I was able to find some of the fight scenes on
gun
YouTube.
Fu.
Yeah, the gun fu.
That was hardcore.
It's pretty slick looking.
I saw a guy. Right on top. I saw an article. I was reading the Reddit post where they talked about the guys who directed it were two of his stunt doubles previously, Keanu Reeves. And they're talking about some guy was trying to articulate the same thing I was with in the fighting style with the guns, and just writing it down. And he was having the same time. Like it's hard to explain until you watch it, but it was the coolest close combat scene with guns I've ever seen in a movie.
Everything is intentful and purposeful.
Yep.
There is nothing flashy.
There's nothing flashy. There's no wasted motion. Everything is done. Yeah, like you said, with purpose.
Well, and
I think that's what I said last week.
The thing too purposeful. Is John Wick is not like this 80s era killing machine.
No.
He gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
He gets beat up.
Yeah.
He gets shot. He gets thrown over a balcony and stuff. I mean, he's not immune to it. No. He's better than all the other guys, but he's not immune to it.
Yeah. He's not immortal. So, the other one I think I was telling you about before, on a totally unrelated subject, TV. So there's a new show I found on. I saw a link to an article about it. It's called "The Man in the High Castle."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it is a pilot episode. The series has not premiered yet. It is on Amazon Prime.
Okay,
and you never freaking heard of it. I just saw a thing that said this thing is awesome. You need to watch it. Based on a book by Philip K. Dick in 1962. All right.
Okay.
The story for the book and the show is America lost World War II. Japan and Germany won.
I don't know if it's this book but I've heard of this type of story.
They take over the United States. 2/3 of it, up to like the Rocky Mountains, is now the Greater German Reich.
On the east side.
On the east side. And then the west side is controlled by Japan.
Okay.
And the story takes place in 1962 on the TV show, and I watched most of the pilot. I was watching it. It was like midnight last night. I fell asleep watching it, and it's really, really looked really interesting. And there's this whole American resistance thing going on, but it's
the Wolverines.
No, it's cool because, not saying Nazis are cool, but just the idea of looking at it from this perspective was really cool to see in a TV show. The American flag is the same, except the stars are replaced with a white swastika.
Okay.
On our flag, the same 13 red and white stripes and blue with a white swastika. Then all of the police are Nazis, still rolling around in the brown Nazi uniforms with the arm thing, outright shooting people just like they were in World War II. Adolf Hitler is still in charge. He's old. Like, you see him on, like, news broadcasts and stuff, but he's, like, sick, and there's rumors about if he's sick, and he's hiding illness, and Hermann Goering is like the second in command, and there's rumors that he might be taking over and whatnot. It's like, wow. And it's all, Americans have become, the police and the government, they're all part of the Nazi, government now. So you get, at one point they're watching a game show, and like the contestant is freaking full on Nazi uniform, but it's an American dude, and like one of the main characters, like her mom, it was in like her 50s, since it was pre-World War II, and they're in San Francisco, and she's just griping about Nazis and whatever, and the girl is like, but they're living in Japan-controlled San Francisco, and she's talking about she's going down to she's learning Aikido and stuff like that, and talking about how her master was like, he's not that bad, and it's like all the shops are Japanese, and it's like they're living like Japanese culture in San Francisco, and it's
San Fran Tokyo.
No, not San Francisco.
San Francisco.
This is not Big Hero 6. But it looks like it could be a really cool show.
What channel was it?
It was on Amazon. Amazon Prime.
I've not heard about.
Never heard of it once. I randomly saw a post on it yesterday afternoon. As soon as I had a chance last night, I thought of it. I went to try and watch it, and I want to watch the rest of it. Right now, it's just the pilot. There's only the one episode on, but it looks cool. You okay? Your phone died?
Phone's died.
Huh, bummer.
Oh, hey, whoa. It didn't respond.
Oh, okay.
It's like I should be nowhere near a dead battery. Yeah, I got like 77%. So.
Nice. So yeah, but it's I just catch a little bit of the story. It sounds like Germany developed a hydrogen bomb.
Oh,
they dropped it on Washington.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, and like I don't know, like I'm kind of reading a little bit of the story of the book, but in the book, FDR was assassinated, and a different president took over. We didn't get directly involved in World War II. So Germany got the steamroll on her own. And then we did not have the military to assist the UK and the Soviet Union or to defend ourselves against Japan.
Oh, right, because before World War II, we had an extremely, I think we had 250,000 standing troops, and at the height of World War II, it was like 10 million or something like that.
Yeah. In the story...
My numbers are probably completely off.
Yeah, I'm just reading a story about the book here. It says, in 1941, the Nazis conquered the USSR and then exterminated most of its Slavic peoples. The few whom they were allowed to live were confined to reservations. In the Pacific, the Japanese destroyed the entire U.S. Navy fleet in a decisive definitive attack on Pearl Harbor. Thereafter, the superior Japanese military conquered Hawaii, Australia, New Zealand, and Oceania during the early 1940s. Afterward, the Axis powers, attacking from opposite coasts, conquered the coast of the United States By 1947, the United States and other remaining Allied forces had all surrendered. Japan established the Pacific States of America out of Alaska, California, Hawaii, Oregon, parts of Nevada, Washington, as part of the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. The remaining mountain, Great Plains, and southwestern states became the Rocky Mountain States, a buffer between the PSA and the remaining USA, now a Nazi puppet state in the style of occupied France. Having defeated the Allies of World War II, the Third Reich and Imperial Japan became the resulting superpowers of the world, consequently embarked on their own Cold War.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different in the show. They show a map, and instead of having the mountain states in between, it's they call it it's the neutral zone.
Yeah.
Between Romulan and Klingon space.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's the Japan. I forget what they call it, but it's like Empire of Japan or whatever, and the Greater Third Reich, and then or the Greater German Reich, I think they call it, and then in between it's the neutral zone. But yeah, I mean, you don't get to see a whole ton, other than the fact that there's a resistance, and you're not sure exactly what's going on. But other than it's Nazi. You know, and they show it for like one of the main characters is the girl in San Francisco. The other main character is this guy in New York, and you see him walking through like Times Square, and it's all Nazi propaganda everywhere. It's really weird, seeing it like that. And I hope it makes it to series, because that could be a really amazingly original series.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I love that kind of like what if history.
Yeah, exactly.
That revisionist history kind of, fiction.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Apparently in 2010, the BBC was going to co-produce a 4-part TV adaptation of it. Ridley Scott was going to executive produce it. Doesn't look like it happened. February 2013, reported Sci-Fi was adapting the book as a 4-part miniseries with Ridley Scott and Frank Spotnitz of X-Files fame. He carried over. Frank Spotnitz did the teleplay for this first episode. It's still being produced by Ridley Scott, I guess.
Really? So this has been a long germinating project.
Germinating.
I made it funny and I didn't even mean to.
Pun intended. October 1st, 2014, they started filming it, and it's being filmed in Washington.
Cool.
So yeah, it looks really cool. It looks like it's worth checking out. I thought it was interesting.
Well, I found something interesting.
Did you know?
Earlier. Somebody put together an infographic for all of the Star Wars franchise revenue that has been generated. The total revenue generated by the Star Wars franchise is $27 billion. That is billion with a B.
Wow.
Of that $27 billion, 4.277 comes from the box office.
Not surprising that the majority of it is from licensing.
All right. And of the 6 episodes 1 through 6, plus the animated Clone Wars movie, the highest generating one is episode 1.
Phantom Menace, huh?
The Phantom Menace.
Interesting.
With $924 million.
It's not surprising, considering the pent-up want for a Star Wars film.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the anticipation for that one had, what, 16 years?
Something like that.
What was it? Return of the Jedi was 83, so 99, so yeah, 16 years.
So that was at $4.277 billion from the box office.
Yep.
$12 billion in toys. $3.775 billion in DVD sales.
Wow. I just think George Lucas didn't want to do DVDs.
$1.820 billion in books.
Wow.
$2.9 billion in video games. And the remaining $1.304 billion is other, which would include licensing, TV, and merchandise.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
And Disney paid $4.2 billion or something like that for the entire Lucasfilm.
The rights to all things Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So that is just an astronomical amount of money.
Yeah. I remember that $4.2 billion that they gave to George Lucas, he turned around and pretty much donated.
Good, yeah, vast majority of it.
Yeah.
Good for that. Well, it's not like he needed it.
No.
Because of that $27 billion, he made a good chunk of that went straight into his pocket.
Yep, because he retained merchandising rights to all of that shit. So everything you saw there that wasn't box office was merchandising. That man made a great business decision. Yes, when no one else was considering that.
I mean, he changed the world.
Yeah.
And not even with the story of Star Wars, but just of how it's all been marketed and merchandised.
Yeah, he changed the business of movies.
Yeah. I mean, I sit here in your theater, and you've got all these figures and models and statues and other things. None of that would have taken place.
Hell, I even got little lightsabers.
Yeah, little lightsabers. But it's not that it wouldn't have happened, but he did it first.
Yeah. Well, it's all spawned off of that.
And you got a fucking little Iron Man ring sitting over there.
It lights up.
On your deadly, deadly shelf.
And my Star Wars statue and my Boba Fett thing.
Yeah.
Got a handful of Star Wars things. It's a big mix of...
Creepy Electro DVD case.
Yes, the light up Electro head and all my potato heads.
There's a lot of potato heads.
I love the movie Potato Heads. They're just fun. just random shit.
When you said that, like I love the movie Potato Heads. I'm like, there's a movie called Potato Heads?
I'd be shocked if there wasn't. Well, yeah, that is a crap ton of money for one
franchise.
Property, one franchise. Yeah. So, anyways, you haven't brought a lot to the show today, Chris.
Sure, I have.
Yeah.
I'm good.
No, you're not.
I brought a lot of dead air.
Yeah, I know. You're bringing more of it right now. I've run through my show notes.
Oh, we're supposed to bring show notes?
Well, I just made myself notes of what I'm gonna talk about on the show today, and now I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. Done.
You done? That's all you got?
I got nothing.
Wow, you're disappointing.
I'm a very disappointing person.
You're a disappointing person.
I suppose I can put all these Transporter movies back.
Yeah, you can put the Transporter movies back.
We can talk about WWE NXT Rival, which took place on Wednesday.
We can talk about that.
Where Kevin Owens fought Sami Zayn for the NXT Championship.
It was fantastic.
It was I watched the whole show.
Did you watch it now?
Yeah.
Good.
It was.
You could have watched it on Wednesday if you had subscribed to the network. You could have subscribed for free this month. Not even for $9.99.
How much is the network?
$9.99. But this month it was free. Free,
you say? So, but it was a really good show. The Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match was fantastic. Kevin Owens looks like a monster.
Yeah, and
in a very traditional heel way, he's doing it for his family and for his kids to get him, to be the champion, to make more money, to make a better life. And he's going to walk through anybody, including some of his best friends, in order to achieve that.
Yeah. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn looks like just how they could do Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
That's like the same thing.
It's the same story.
Yeah. And it works. And Owens has, I think, a little bit... He doesn't have the athletic ability of... Brock Lesnar. Not say athletic ability, but just
the freakish
strength of Brock Lesnar.
Kevin Owens is a very athletic guy for his size, but Paul Heyman is correct. Brock Lesnar is a once in a generation kind of athlete.
Yeah, once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way he ended that match with just power bombing him
over and over again until the ref stopped.
Yeah, it was exactly like with Lesnar.
No pin, no tap out.
Yeah, just called it.
Yep.
Because he's gonna kill him.
And then Owens celebrates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right over him.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good stuff. No, I was excited by that. I liked that. I liked the Finn Balor match. That was good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Tyler Breeze.
With the selfie
with
stick.
the selfie stick, with the fur-covered selfie stick.
That was awesome.
It is fantastic.
Yes.
Tyler Breeze is a great character.
Yes. I don't know if it's a character that would translate well to Raw.
I think if you have Tyler Breeze and you bring him up to the main roster and you pair him up with Fandango.
I was just going to say, with Fandango and Tyler Breeze would be awesome.
It would be fantastic.
That would be a good tag team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Finn Balor was cool. Yeah, I like it. The more and more I watch him, the more and more he's cool. Adrian Neville, was still good.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right. Finn Balor wrestled Adrian Neville.
Yeah.
Tyler Breeze wrestled Atami.
Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
He's
a work in progress
Yeah,
still. He's a great wrestler. He's not a great American wrestler.
No.
He's not ready for WWE.
Hey, I have no problem with him. The biggest thing I can say about Hideo Itami so far is I don't care. He has not made me care about him one way or another yet.
Yeah.
He's just there.
Yep.
He's starting to wear out the I am Kenta, so cheer for me.
Yeah, yeah. The polish is starting to come off a little bit.
Yeah, so now he's just another guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's quickly becoming just another guy.
No.
And he needs to get off, if he's going to go anywhere. And I'm sure he can.
I'm sure.
So it's going to take him a lot longer than it is guys like Finn Balor and Kevin Owens.
Correct.
Who are also recent acquisitions.
Yep.
Zayn has been around for a while.
Almost like 2 years now. I think.
Yeah.
But apparently there is rumors and rumblings behind the scenes thing that those like 5 guys, Zayn, Owens, Atami, Baylor, and Neville, are like Triple H's buddy boys. They are his prized possessions in NXT.
Well, not surprising.
And those guys get a lot of slack. Like
I read that. I think I read that same thing.
Where it's like,
well, you know what? Where they don't have to do as much as everything as all the other guys and whatever. It's like, but on the other side of the coin, and I agreed with somebody else wrote, it's like they've also all been doing this for like a decade.
Yes, if
they don't have to run the ropes,
they don't need to practice their bumps.
Yeah, they don't need to practice like Baron Corbin does,
right?
And Bull Dempsey and fucking whoever the hell the tag champs are, Murphy and something. It's Buddy Murphy and I can't remember the other guy's name anymore.
Gunther?
No, it's not Gunther. Gunther and Murphy. But I can't even remember their fucking names. That's all you need to know about those two guys.
Yep.
Wesley Blake. I remember his name. Blake and Murphy. And
that sounds like a law office.
Yeah, the offices of Blake and Murphy.
That would be great.
But
and then they can have David Otunga on their staff as well.
Otunga, Blake, and Murphy. Otunga, and Otunga.
Otunga, and Horowitz.
Yeah. Whipple.
Scotty Goldman.
Yes. Goldman, Otunga, and Whipple. What 3 guys would sound like a law office?
No. It's Otunga, Goldman, and Shyster.
Yes.
Bring back Irwin R. Shyster.
Shyster, Wyatt, and Dallas. That reminds me of the one NFL running
I want to see their Thanksgiving with all of them in character.
That would be great. That would be an awkward dinner.
No. Coming up in a couple months for Father's Day.
Yes.
I want to see IRS, Bray Wyatt, and Bo Dallas on like a Father's Day thing. They're all going, "Come on, Dad, we're gonna go out to eat," or something. And they're all in character.
That would be so awkward. Bray Wyatt's walking with the lantern. Bo Dallas is just smiling with his thumbs up.
He's calling his dad kid.
Iris is just shaking his head.
Did you keep a receipt for that, Latin? That would be a great WWE Network or live on the app kind of thing.
Just a real
5 minutes worth of fun.
Yeah. It would just to see them all together in character for 30 seconds would be fine.
Yeah,
just a nod and a wink. No actual acknowledgement of it. The women's match was good stuff too. So I fear for the women coming up to the main roster. They're all together when they're wrestling each other at NXT. They're great,
right?
one by one coming up, I'm afraid.
Yep.
Because Total Divas is like where it's at on the main roster. The disparity between Triple H and Vince McMahon's vision for the company gets larger,
it gets wider and wider
as the weeks go by, and it's weird.
Well, and I also was reading today that it's kind of being reported that on the main roster, these people are getting a lot real disenchanted watching NXT.
Yeah,
they think NXT is a better show, and that those guys are being given more freedom to wrestle.
Yeah.
Than they are. They don't want to. It's like, oh, here you're so and so. You get to do a nothing match for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
While these guys down at NXT are spending weeks and months driving stories to important matches.
Yes.
Where the women are co-main eventing.
Mm-hmm. It's very different, and that's where the clear distinction between Vince and Triple H is showing.
Yep.
Triple H is old school.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great,
I think the WWE needs a revitalization like that. I mean, really, it's almost like those same 5 NXT guys we talked about, like Owen, Zayn, Neville, Balor, and Tommy.
Yeah.
Bring them all up at once.
Yep.
Bring them all up at once, and you can still do the face. Some guys are face, some are heel, whatever. They don't have to come up as a thing, but just let those guys come in together. Let them wrestle each other.
Yeah.
And they're going to just come out and we're awesome.
Well, it's just let them wrestle each other, but pair them all up with some of the main roster guys.
Yeah.
That have trouble.
Right.
Your Sheamuses.
Yeah.
Your Jack Swaggers.
Well, because
those guys are great at what they do, but they don't look great going against each other.
No.
There's always got to be one great wrestler with the great technical wrestler with the great pro wrestler.
Yeah. Well, if you look, you can put Sami Zayn in there with anybody, and Sami Zayn will make them look like $1 million.
Yeah. Well, it's like Daniel Bryan is like that. Formerly Shawn Michaels.
Well, shit. Here, look at this. Right now, Daniel Bryan is teaming up with Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Suddenly, within these last 2 weeks, Roman Reigns looks 1,000 times better than he had in the couple months previous.
Yep. Because he's partnered in a program with Daniel Bryan.
With a guy who is awesome.
Yes. At everything.
Yep.
He's awesome with his character. He's awesome with his wrestling ability. He's awesome with his gimmick with the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. He's got it.
Well, and I almost want to say it's part of the difference between, and we're seeing it more in the last couple of years, is all these guys that spent a decade on the indies.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to go in and get over.
Yep. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't have been doing it.
Right. They know how to go in to a new town every night and get over every night. It's not just about portraying a character.
Yeah.
It's getting that character over.
Yep.
And you can walk in. Daniel Bryan, at this point, he can walk into any stadium in the country or any arena in the country and is just over. Even if he's not liked in the beginning, by the end of the show, he is.
Yep.
Either through his character, his mannerisms, his talking, or his performance in the ring.
Yep.
I remember when the first NXT showed up on WWE with Daniel Bryan, back in 2010.
Yep.
You see Daniel Bryan coming out, and it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
It was disappointing. I'd heard about him for years.
Yeah, the American Dragon.
He was awesome. He won the Wrestling Observer Best Technical Wrestler for 8 years in a row. And then you come out, and it's like, this guy looks like a geek.
Yeah, well, he's shaved head, no beard, looks like he's 13 years old.
No.
He's got no physique at all. He's pasty.
Yeah.
He looks like fucking, what was that, the one-legged kid, Zach Gowen.
Zach Gowen.
Yeah, it's like, but same, appearance
but at that point, he didn't have a character.
No, he was just Daniel Bryan.
He developed one over time. And I loved him as a heel.
Yes, he was great.
As the asshole heel.
Yes.
After he'd won the championship and he kept winning all the time and he kept yes. His original yes chant
was to spite the crowd.
So it was to rub it in their face.
And then when they started going along with him, he changed it to no. He started chanting no because the crowd was chanting yes. Yeah. It was great.
And you know what? As a heel,
yes,
that's what you do. And somehow him and Kane took this stupid anger management gimmick, which fell apart at the beginning because Charlie Sheen was supposed to be a part of it, and then bailed at the last minute. They took it and turned it into the greatest thing on TV.
Yeah. No, it was good stuff. Team Hell No.
Yeah.
I'm the tag team champions. Yeah. No, I'm the tag team champions every week.
And it was awesome every week.
Every week, they're Kane and Daniel Bryan fighting. And it was good stuff. And it made Daniel Bryan into what he is now.
Yeah.
All of that long building of a character that, for some reason, WWE just kind of stumbles into every so often. Yeah. Or it happens organically because they don't try to do something stupid with
Daniel Bryan is kind of one of those organic evolutions of a character.
Yep.
And because it was done organically, and even despite the authorities' intentions, the crowd loves him.
Yes.
No matter what. And it is what WWE wants the crowd to do for Roman Reigns.
Yes.
The crowd doesn't care about Roman Reigns.
Nope.
The crowd cares about Superman punch and a spear. Everything else about him,
and even that,
is mediocre.
Because his spear is mediocre.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because he's been trying to spear the Big Show a lot lately.
Yeah.
Big Show can't take a spear.
No.
He's just too big. And he looks bad. I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens at Fastlane if they have Daniel Bryan go over Roman Reigns.
I want to see Daniel Bryan go over.
Yeah, I want to.
And
not just because I don't like Roman Reigns, because I think Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar would be insane.
And you know what? It's the kind of thing where I think character-wise is best for Daniel Bryan to go over. Yeah. And for him to beat Roman Reigns and just tell Roman Reigns, it's like, I won because you're not ready.
Yep.
You're good, but you're not great.
Yep.
You are not ready. He's like, but you will be ready. Just not right now. He's like, but tell you this, if I go on to win to WrestleMania and I beat Brock Lesnar for the title, at the next pay-per-view, you get the first shot.
Yep.
He's like, that gives you 3 months to prepare for me.
Yep.
And there we go. And then Roman Reigns beats Daniel Bryan. But are they? But it's the respect match.
Yeah.
Because what did we see on NXT? Neville versus Finn Balor.
Yeah.
For the number one contender. They're both faces, and at the end of the match, they shook hands.
Yep.
It's a straight up respect thing.
Yep.
And then that puts Roman Reigns over because now he earned it.
Yeah. That would be good. We'll see. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in WWE to do something on their own. Correct.
Yeah.
They get cornered and backed into it and forced to do things for the sake of not being just booed mercilessly every week. Why they can't figure their stuff out on their own is beyond me. But yeah, we'll see. What is Fastlane? Is that this Sunday? It's not tomorrow. Is it next Sunday?
I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's the following. So.
Is it next Sunday?
I think our wrestling talk can be the exclamation point to this episode.
We'll wrap it up now.
Yeah.
So it sounds too excited now. You always sound thrilled.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I found one thing while you were talking. This could be our podcast! ! So apparently, somebody created a fake Stephanie McMahon Twitter account.
I read about this one this morning.
And invited Ashley Massaro to Raw, and she fell for it.
Yes.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
And she fell for it so hard.
Yes.
All caps.
All caps. Thank yous. I'm so excited.
Yeah. She eventually figured out deleted the tweet, and now she looks like a fool. And I would facepalm so hard. I kind of did facepalm a little.
Well, when I first read the headline before I got into the article, I assumed she showed up at an arena.
Oh God, would that have been awful?
Oh my God!
But no, that is just depressing.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah.
Well, not even this, just her whole thing. Because she was so excited to be part of the WWE and doing everything, and then got let go, or they parted ways.
No, that I thought was hilarious and sad and depressing and funny all at the same time. And
on sad and depressing, it's a good note to end.
It was actually funny though. It was funny to read.
There goes. There's this episode of Podcast Club, or the girl with the podcast tattoo, or
let's see here.
Dances with Podcast.
Dances with Podcast. The Green Podcast.
The Dark Podcast returns.
Kill Podcast. Podcast Ass. Jurassic Podcast.
There we go.
The Lone Podcast. Love and Other Podcasts.
Pineapple Podcast.
This is Podcast. Total Podcast.
Army of Podcast.
Army of Podcast.
Or Podcast of Darkness.
Tropic Podcast. Podcast of Dark. I like Gone in 60s Podcast. You know what? I'm going to throw it out there. Schindler's Podcast. Ha!